Hello friends, welcome back all of you to my YouTube channel. Today in this video we will learn about limits of function. Calculus wouldn't exist without the concept of limits. Differentiation and integration are based on the fundamental concept of the limit of a function. We start with some function f and a point on the x-axis. Here is what we'd like to understand. What does f of x look like when x is really close to a, but not equal to a? This is a pretty strange question to ask. Let's dive in. Here we have a function f of x that is defined for all real numbers x except x equals 1. Because we can't divide by 0, we can simplify the expression by factoring in the numerator and cancelling common factors. Let us now draw its graph. Now we make a table of inputs and outputs of this function. Here we got to see that at one point x equals 1, this function is undefined. Now let us plot these points on the graph and join these points with a smooth curve. We have shown the undefined point with the help of an open circle. Now we see, what does this function look like when x is really close to 1? As x approach to very close to 1, the value of the function is approaching 2. This dot is very close to x equals 1 right now, about 0.9999. And the value of the function is near 2, about 1.9999. F of x approaches arbitrarily close to 2 as x approaches 1. This concept has been named limit in mathematics. We read it like this: the function approaches limit 2 as x approaches 1. Let's see another example. Here I have drawn a graph of a function. Here we would like to see what value the function approaches when x is very close to 0. As we get closer to 0, the value of the function keeps on increasing. There is no single number that it approaches. So we didn't get any definite value, so we will say that the limit of this function does not exist. There is a difference between limit of function and value of function. Let us understand it with the help of an example. When x is approaching 2, the function g of x is approaching 2. This is the limit of function. When we are exactly at x equals 2, then what will be the value of the function? It is called value of function. We are not approaching x equals 2. We are exactly at that point. Or we can say value of a function is the output of the function when we input some value in it. That is the difference between these two. All the examples we saw earlier were one-sided limit. Now we understand two-sided limits. Here we have a special function, signum function. It is a unique function. See its graph. 0, 1 and 0, -1, both the points are excluded. Here we will see what will be the limit of the function when x approaches 0. Here we have two roots. One is to approach 0 from the right side. Then what value will the function approach? We will call it the right limit of function. So the right limit of function is 1, and while writing right limit, we use the superscript plus sign on the point where we want to find the limit. The second is we approach 0 from the left side. Then the value that the function will approach, we will call it the left limit of the function. And the left limit of function is -1. And while writing left limit, we use the superscript minus sign on the point where we want to find the limit. When we find the limit of a function at a particular point, then we see whether the limit of that function exists at that point or not. But in two-sided limits, we have two limits for one point. So what will we do for that? If both the limits are equal, only then we will say that the limit of function exists at that point. In this case, both the right limit of function and left limit of function are different, so we will say that the limit of this function does not exist at x equals 0. Let us see another example so that we can understand the concept of left and right limits better. This is the function g of x. You can see its graph. If we want to find the limit of this function at -1, then we can approach x equals -1 from the right side only. If we approach from right side, we will call this the right limit of function. As soon as we started approaching x equals -1, then the function is approaching 0, which means right limit of function is 0. Similarly, if we want to approach x equals 1, then we can approach it only from the left side. Then the function is approaching 0, so the left limit of function is 0. What do we have to learn from this? We can use left limit and right limit on the endpoints of the function. What is the relation between one-sided limit and two-sided limit? A function f of x has limit L at x equals a, if and only if it has both left and right limit there and these one-sided limits are both equal to L. That's it. In the next coming video, we will understand limit of infinity, infinite limit, and squeeze theorem. Till then you can subscribe to our channel. Thank you.